you told me about another game after this one. If you want to go over it afterwards, like if we have some time, we can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you.
Okay. Do you have preference between any color, like yellow, blue, uh, like pink?
No, not really.
Alright, let's go with yellow then. Okay. So the first thing I noticed when I opened this video you sent me, it's like
Yeah.
this and this. It occupies a lot of the space on my screen,
Yeah.
and I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes it's okay. Like a lot of games, it won't impact you a lot. You know, it's okay. But like especially if you play
Mhm.
from red side, there's a lot of things you can't see, right?
Yes.
So if it's something that you think you can get away with, I would try to reduce it to like minimum here and like minimap, maybe something like this, because it's a really big difference in space.
Yeah,
Especially
I
like
see what
these
you mean.
things, like you can easily misclick on your champions and like maybe your skill shot goes the wrong way, stuff like that.
Okay. I try to do this.
Other things like names, I think they're useless. Like you don't
Mhm.
really need to know like who you're playing against or whatever. It's just about champions, right?
Yeah.
So I would remove this, and for focus purposes, I would remove the icons too.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you think is so? First of all, like, what do you think is your job this game? And then how do you think like the team comps work? It's kind of both questions play into each other. So
I think my job is just to stay mid and put pressure on the enemy mid laner, and in the team fights, um, I think I just want to stay behind my front line, and when they get engaged, I just DPS the enemy comp, and I do a lot of damage because my champ is perfect, is really good in their draft to receive because they really want to engage, and I can disengage with my combo.
mhm. Okay, why do you think you need to stay mid, or like why you should stay mid?
Because my character isn't very mobile, and I don't. I think my job is mainly to reduce the Seraphine potential to have a lot of the items, and I have to reduce our resources. And going roaming wouldn't be because I don't have many tools as Syndra to roam. And if I roam also, Seraphine will get some time to push mid wave, and it can be pretty bad. I think the main plan is better to just sit mid and pressure.
Okay, just a second. Your microphone changed a bit. I'm not sure if like a wire went off or
Ah,
yeah.
I don't know.
I
Wait,
know,
let me see.
I know it's good again. It's a bit, it's lagging a bit.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, looks normal now.
Nice.
Okay.
Did you still hear what I said before?
Yeah, I could understand. So I agree with you.
Okay,
I think like Syndra is not a very mobile champion, and like if you can stay mid and just do stuff in mid and like push your lead and whatever,
mhm,
before like the rework, I think it's pretty good. I think there's a few things like this game that you need to consider. Like one, you're not playing against champions that are very scary when you leave your lane. Like
mhm.
Graves doesn't have a lot of CC. Seraphine can't like reliably hit her stuff without setup, right? So
Yeah,
if you're leaving your lane, you need to be careful about this guy. And everyone else is kind of, you can just like run away from them usually. Obviously, you don't want to
yeah,
face check on Graves, right?
of
Um,
course.
but if you have like a dive opportunity on top and Trundle can cover you or can go together with you, like I think it would be dumb not to do it, right?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Yeah. So as long as like you understand that in the game, it's fine. I think you kind of get what you should be doing. What do you feel about this matchup?
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't really know it because I didn't practice it much. I don't. I think it was the first time I went into a Seraphine. But I still think she should have prio, even though I got it in the game. But I have pressure on her because, yeah, even though even though there has been the rework, my champ is still kinda good to put pressure on Seraphine, I think.
Yeah, I think Syndra is always like, even after rework, she's okay in lane. She's not like as strong as
Yeah, I
before,
think
but it's fine. Uh, I'm not 100% sure on the matchup either after the rework.
so. Yeah,
So
it's
we're
kinda
gonna
weird.
like kind of discover it as we go through the game. I think if she really wants prior, she should be able to get it. She'll always trade a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
of HP for it, and like starting
okay.
level 3, level 4, I think you have enough like skills to pressure of just queuing the wave, right? Every time she
Yes,
queues, you can just walk forward and like pressure the champ. So maybe first waves you don't have prior, but after that you should start applying a lot of pressure.
that's what I tried doing.
Okay.
Uh, by the way, should in this matchup, so I want to put pressure on her. So should I go still first strike to for the late game and the team fights, or do you think Aerie is better?
Okay. So again, I'm not 100% sure on the matchup because Syndra got reworked.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, I don't think you're able to pressure Seraphine to the point where the rune matters a lot.
Okay.
Like if
Yeah.
she's
So first
playing
strike
good,
is better.
she'll go down 10 CS, 15 maybe, and or maybe not even down CS at all, right?
Yeah.
And you'll just be like you'll feel really fine in the matchup, but she won't feel pressured. I think, especially
Yeah.
when you have a jungler like Trundle. If you don't let her push, because like right now in this game, if Seraphine is like here inside this box, she never feels afraid of getting killed by a gank, right?
Mm,
So unless you have, unless like Alistar is coming mid and you can like 3 mana or something,
mm,
she's not really afraid of getting ganked. So she can kind of just let you push the wave and then farm. So you can't really abuse her, you know. If you
yeah.
can create wave situations where you're playing on your side of the wave, it's a bit different. Okay, I like that you're first to the minion wave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing, when you're playing, you told me like you haven't played this matchup before, so maybe like you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a good answer for this, but I think it's like it's a good principle. When you're playing a matchup that you've played before and like you know how it works, like it's really important that you always do the same stuff so you can like replicate what has happened before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see.
So like maybe right now you're not sure about this, but if you're playing like this matchup and you've played it 10, 15, 20 times, uh, if the like the conclusion you arrived at is that going into the wave and auto attacking this minion twice and then maybe like queuing the backline or whatever to like even out prio, like if that's the conclusion you arrived at, you should aim to do it every single game.
Yeah.
And it's just a good principle, especially when you're playing like mages, because you want a very controlled game when you're playing these
Mm-hmm.
champions,
Yeah.
because you want to like go into lane and you want to know when am I recalling, what's the minimum gold I want to recall at. So maybe with Syndra it would be like 350 gold for Dark Seal, right? And
Yeah.
what's my optimal recall? Like usually as mages you always want to recall on last chapter.
Yeah.
And if you can play on these conditions that like I'm never not recalling before 250 gold and I'm always aiming to recall at 130 or 1300, then like your game plan becomes a lot easier because you know kind of like what waves to recall, how much money you can waste, like poking enemy champions, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, like this game, you told me you kind of want to punish Seraphine, so I'm wondering, like in this game, do you know how much gold you want to recall at? Like, do you have a game plan on how you're gonna punish her? Because realistically, you're never gonna kill her, right?
Yeah.
So how do you plan to punish the champ?
I think my goal, and in general, my goal is to back is to recall. Sorry, between game wave 5 and wave 6, wave 6, where I just TP back and have a goodbye. Often I have um, an amplifying tom.
Yep.
And
Refillable.
Dark Seal.
Or,
Yeah,
or
and Dark Seal and refillable if I have a farm duel.
Mhm.
And I think this is a really good recall. And if I can't do this, I will recall for the level 6 transition. But if I recall wave 5, 6, she's it's mandatory that she matches the recall, and then I can put pressure on her for the next 3 waves, drop her some HP, and then with my transition 6, I can kill her. So I
Okay.
think that was my game plan.
So I agree that like that's a really strong recall, especially if you're playing for lane power, right? It's like you're getting 35 AP for a pretty low price.
Yeah.
So what's your objective like going into this lane? You want to recall at that point, or are you gonna force her to recall? And like, are you trying to just trade TPs evenly, or are you trying to like recall normally because it's a cannon wave on 6?
I think trade TPs is better for me since she will be the one taking a lot of damage, and I can just be fine, and she will have to back at one time. So if we trade TP, it's better for me.
Okay. What do you think about the mana situation? Like if you
I
keep
have
playing.
I have both mana flow and cookies, so it's really not a problem, I think.
Okay. Is there like any item she can buy early to change that?
I don't think she can really change that. Yeah, I don't think.
Okay.
Only our jungle can put her out of this situation.
Okay. So I was watching this earlier just to have an idea of what to talk about. So you're like
Okay.
you're doing this with your camera, which is good. You want to see more of the laning phase, right? Want to go like really slow here, because here you're gonna like your mouse is gonna flick up for the camera, which is good. But the way you're queuing, like your mouse was here, and you're trying to like queue her, right?
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it's really important that like there's a few ways to move camera. One is what you're doing. The other one you can like use the keyboard with arrows, and the other one is using the mouse wheel. Like you can click on it and it drags the camera around, right? Like it doesn't matter which one you use. It just matters that like when you do this, you can't be lazy. Like you adjust it and then it needs to click on the champion. You can't just be like here, you know? Because this is bad habits for a lot of champions. Like if you're playing Victor, suddenly you can't do this anymore. And you need to like relearn stuff, right? And then like it's less accurate. Like here you missed the Q because you were lazy. Because obviously, with the way that this guy is reacting, you'll never dodge it, right?
Yes.
So it's really important that you don't get lazy with stuff like this. Another thing I've noticed is like every time you flick the camera, or just like randomly, you'll start like clicking very far from the from your champion. Like here you clicked here, for example.
Yeah.
But you should always be looking to click like around your champion, really close, right? There's a few skill shots, or like either dodging skill shots or dodging or like hitting them in this game. There's a few that you get hit because of it, so it's just something to keep in mind, to like always click very close. Like here you clicked very far, you could click here, right? At the level of play that you're playing, in terms of like solo queue, I expect you to be able to do this stuff, right?
Yes.
Let's talk a bit about lane, because I was just talking about clicks. Alright, so you started hitting the wave as soon as possible. I think if you want to contest Prio, it's smart. You should always aim to do that, and like your champion is stronger, and like Q doesn't cost a lot of mana, so you can spam it. I'd like you to be a bit faster, like getting her off the wave, because like look, she used Q, our champion is bad, your Q is up, walk up, and if you trade autos Q, always winning, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to walk up and just trade HP like a dumbass, like a lot of solo queue players do. Like you just want her to not let, like this auto shouldn't happen. And if it's happening, you should be able to punish it, like you're trying to do here, right? Because this way, like, you're making sure that you get prio, or at least, like, it's way harder for her to contest it, right? Like, now, it's 5 minions to 3. So, no matter what she does, she's always gonna lose prio. Yeah, that's a good cue. Also, I think you're losing a lot of time not auto-attacking minions here. Like, I know you don't want to crash super early, right? Like, you don't want to crash second wave if you have the option. But like here, you're just waiting, not doing anything. And the wave is gonna end up in a worse state for you. And like now you don't have prio anymore. Or you're probably gonna get it, because you're Syndra. But it's a lot more even than before, and when you had a really big advantage, right?
Yes.
And the way you fix that is, right, she threw her Q. Like you can weave in and out like you're trying to do. Now she threw it, now you just auto attack. And you do it a lot. Like here, auto attack, she doesn't have Q, she can't fight back, right?
Yeah.
And I also think you're clicking really far back. Like here it's good. If she keeps walking forward, you can go a bit further back, or you can go to the side so she doesn't hit the minions, right? Stuff like that. Like, why are you clicking here?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, this is more of a, not so much about this game, but more of a general question. Do you know, like, what minions, like, can you tell before the wave meets, like, what minions your casters are gonna focus?
I'm trying to do this more and more, and I know, like, for the first wave, it will be the minion in the middle, but I still don't know most of the time. I got interested in that a few hours ago, not too late.
It's good that you're thinking about it, because it's really important. Like here, you're auto attacking this minion, and it's getting focused by the casters, right? So like now you're gonna get level 2 prio first, but for her wave, the middle one, I think it's the middle one. Let me go back. No, it's actually the first one too. Like for her wave is also the first one, but there will be situations like you said, like on the first one, sometimes they're gonna hit this one, and you can't tell why. I'm still like trying to figure that out too, but it's really important that like you think about it, because there will be matchups. Yeah, there's matchups where like they'll randomly start hitting this, and then this minion is half HP, this one is half HP, and you don't get level 2. And then you're feeling really sad, right?
Yeah.
Also another thing, here you're gonna get level 2, usually you want to push your advantage. One thing I feel like you're not thinking about is, look, this minion is being targeted by this tree, right? So you're gonna go in, but this minion is gonna die during your trade. So now if this guy is faster, he eats you, and like it's a pretty bad trade for you, right?
Yeah.
And it's important, like this matchup, again, Seraphine is not gonna punish you a whole lot, usually. And as Syndra, you kind of want to get your stacks, but it's important that you're looking at these things, because you need to understand when a trade is good and or when it might be bad, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you're gonna ward actually. Okay,
Yeah. I think I wanted to crush that wave, so that's why I.
How do you feel about your mana situation right now?
I think it's still fine because I have cookies incoming. And
what about now?
Yeah, that was kinda bad. I should just I think I should just aim for the mana flow perks, and just that's it. Mana flow and first strike, but I shouldn't pressure way more than that, I think.
Yeah, I think in this matchup, like what you told me earlier about recalling on Amp Tom and Darkseal, I think it's pretty good. And right now, like when I see you eating like this, it tells me that you're kind of forgetting your goal, right? Because like look, he has 2 potions, I can see the HP, I think it's like 500 something. Like if that he hits, she's gonna be this low, worst case. It's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna kill this guy. So
Yeah.
now it's important that like you understand, okay, I have this gold, I want 800 gold for my recall, maybe 900. And I want to play for that. And like there's 2 health bars in mid lane. First one, your actual health bar. And then this one is the most important one, the mana bar. If you have 0 mana, you can't play. Your champion is useless, right?
Yeah.
So right now you need to be thinking about, okay, how am I gonna get to my recall? I already got prayer for my team. I'm doing something. I can't really punish her that much. Because you don't have enough mana to do it, right? So you should just aim for a recall and like play towards that as much as possible. Also, I think if you want to proc mana flow, a good habit is to try and do it like when she's near the wave, like here. It would be a good Q if you're close enough. You try for it, which is good. But like, don't panic spells like you're doing with your W here, for example. Feels like you're just trying to proc the mana flow. Like, wait for opportunities. If this doesn't proc right now, it will proc eventually, you know?
Yeah.
And also, this is a very small thing. It doesn't matter that much, but you know, like Seraphine is trying to play on this side of the lane.
Yeah.
The way you use the DMAT, it's like this minion is your ally. I'll change color. This minion here is your ally because it's the only minion you can Q while hitting Seraphine with where she's playing, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like a small thing. Try to not demat the minion where she's playing at if you have the choice. Because like here you don't really need to use demat, right? You're just doing it because you see the opportunity. And then maybe you can like Q the minion and her at the same time. Just like small optimization in line. Again, like you got the chunk with, look, 640 gold, right? You're still 2 waves away from what you want. And now your mana is looking a bit bad.
That was bad that I missed those 2 CS.
Yep.
Because they would give me the back that I wanted.
It's not as good now.
Yeah.
But the main thing you need to understand is like this didn't happen because you missed those 2 CS. This happened because you don't have mana to keep laning, right? Like look, this guy still has 1 potion. If he uses it, it's gonna be like this HP, maybe a bit higher, right? And if you use less mana and it was like this HP and you traded a bit less, like you could play 1 more wave and then you could recall TP and you'd be really happy.
Yeah.
So especially on lanes like Seraphine, like yes, you want to punish this champion, but Syndra is not a super dominant champion early versus ranged wave clear champions like Seraphine, right?
Yeah.
She can click Q and then what are you gonna do? Like you can walk up and like trade a bit, but you're never gonna kill her. So like your focus is always manage your mana, manage your gold, and then recall on good gold. Okay, you have 3 TPs, it's not too bad. What do you think about her TP in this situation?
Hers?
Yeah.
Or mine?
Let's talk about hers.
Yeah, I think it's fine, but it's not necessary, and nah, it's kinda bad, but because she will lose some CS if she doesn't TP, but she can TP back at one moment, and I won't be able to get as much pressure as I want. So she can sacrifice the CS to have her TP, I think.
Yeah, so she would like sacrifice these 3 minions.
Yeah.
But she would get more minions later down the line because you can trade with her, right? Because she doesn't. She has TP and you don't.
That's what I was thinking about.
Okay, I agree. So then, why is your TP good here?
Because I still get those minions and I want to lead in XP, and I will get my TP later on.
Okay, so you want to TP for these 3 minions and Prio?
Yeah. And
think
also
like
that will get me a slow push, so maybe I can have a second reset. But I don't think it's that good to get
yeah,
the second reset.
I don't think you can get the reset. Maybe you can like move on
Yeah.
the map and ward.
Mm.
In general, I think like you never want to be in a position as Syndra where you're giving, and especially like with the jungler like you do, you have like Trundle. You never want to give
Yeah.
Grave Seraphine the push in mid for free, if you can, right?
Yeah.
Because they kind of
Yeah.
like one, you're making the game a lot easier for Graves because he can just do whatever. He can invade Trundle, he can farm, can gank, right? A lot easier.
Mhm.
So I think like your TP in that scenario, in that situation, is like a lot more justified. The other thing is that if Seraphine TPs, it doesn't change the wave state at all if she matches it, because she needs to respect your champion anyways, right?
Yeah.
But if you TP, it's completely different, right? Like you're always
Yeah.
gonna get the push.
Mhm.
And it's important that you understand this in the game. Because sometimes your job is just surviving, and sometimes your job is pressuring. In this game, it's a bit of both, right? But for Seraphine, she only needs to survive.
Yes.
Okay, this ward timer. Was there a better ward timer?
After I crashed, but I wanted. Yeah, no, after I crashed.
What about right now?
Never mind. I need to CS.
Yeah, it's just. And it's just again. Right?
Yeah.
Couldn't you have warded now instead of trading?
I think it's still better because anyway, Graves is bot lane, so I think I should even have delayed my ward and just kept pressuring. Because in the end, I don't need that ward right now, you know, because Graves was still bot, Nautilus would be on back timing and recall, sorry.
I think when you ward it, it's good because you want to have a much better one. Like, it's important that you see this. Like here, it's
Yeah.
right now it's good because if you ward it later, like imagine you didn't ward and you're just playing up and like trying to chunk Seraphine, right?
Yeah.
This is slow pushing. You'll always miss CS unless you crash the wave, right?
Yes.
So I agree. I think warding earlier was actually bad, and it's good that you did it a bit later. But holding onto it like would bring issues later.
Yeah, I can.
I'm trying to think. Like, are you afraid of getting ganked from bot side? Because when I see this, I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna ward. Maybe gonna put a pink ward here or like here, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
it seems you're a bit confused on what to
Yeah,
do.
I confused myself. Uh, yeah, I just confused myself.
Okay. Just small thing. Try to always like put the word here, a bit more to the left, so that they can
So she
take
can't
it.
hit her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like some champions, especially the carries, they can like kill it from here, right?
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
Seraphine can too. I'm not sure. What do you think of your current lane state?
I think I'm really dominant right there.
Okay. I agree.
I shouldn't have took out that minion, that cannon. Sorry. It was bad.
Why?
Because she doesn't lose as much CS when I trade her, and I think I should slow push one more wave. And now it just crashes now, and it's way worse than what it could have been.
I agree.
I just didn't do that.
I also think that if you look at the lane right now, let me see if you click
Yeah.
on her. Okay, right now like she has less HP, she has less mana. If you can make her, if you can force her to use spells like this, and just drop her mana, like you're fine losing a bit of HP for that, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna keep chunking her slowly, and she's gonna keep losing mana and HP. And she doesn't have TP, you don't have TP. But because you're the one pushing and leading the wave state, right? You're very happy being in this stalemate where like you're both just trading waves, but she keeps losing mana and HP, right?
Yeah.
And when you do this, now if I'm Seraphine, I can go here and wait for the minions. Obviously I'm not gonna do that, right? Like if I wanted to I could, and I'm gonna lose like 1 or 2 minions at most. But if you don't kill this minion, I'm gonna lose a lot more, right?
Lose a lot. Yeah.
And if I want those minions, I need to walk here and I need to queue the wave, and then you can chunk me. I'm gonna lose more mana.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, and it's important that you see that in the game, because right now you have a big advantage, and this advantage, you're not gonna capitalize on it by killing her. You're gonna capitalize on it by having a recall and locking her in lane, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And now you're kind of throwing it away when you do that. I think it's a bit weird that you're playing for top side when look, you have so much vision bot side.
Yeah, that's real.
So it's really important that you make this a habit, right? Like look, Alistar just warded, you went bot side, you have a good ward here. Just play on the bot side of the lane.
Yeah.
Like Graves could go from here, and obviously he's not gonna do it. I don't think he can kill it right now, but it's a possibility. And there will be games where you can actually die, right? Nice. How often do you look at side lanes?
When I play those jumps, those jumps that don't really roam, I don't look much at side lane. I just try to focus as much as I can on my lane, because I know I won't do that much. It was a scream, so if my top laner or my bot lane needs
They would tell you, right?
need to roam, yeah, they tell me and I just come.
Okay, I think because you're learning the champions, it's like it's okay that you're doing that. But it's always a good habit to like know what's happening here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this wave state is in like right now. Ezreal is full HP, Alistar is full HP. Like if your team can tell you that they can trade and like freeze the wave here for 1 more wave, and then you can like move with Trundle, but lane is doomed, right?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Even if you're Syndra versus Seraphine and like you want to stay mid a lot, like maybe enemy fucks up or you just see this opportunity in the game and you go for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's important that you are aware of it, because like look, right now they're fighting in bot. Maybe if you knew about this, you could already be moving, preempting. Like it's just a good thing to do, right? So especially when you get more comfortable, you should look to always know what's happening in side lanes. Again, like why do you push like this?
Yeah, I think I did this pretty much all game.
Yeah. And it's like, it's okay if you want to recall and get last chapter. I think you should have already done it, depending what runs you have. But like if you want to do that, I kind of lost count of the waves. I think Cannon is the one after. Not sure. But if you want to recall for last chapter, it's like, okay, you're gonna recall and like you're gonna come back, it's fine. I don't think it's like the best play because you want to lock her in line, right? Like look at her mana and yours. Yeah. But if that's not what you're playing for, then you're just making your life easier, right?
Yeah.
Look, you're doing it again.
Yeah, I think I did this all game. I don't quite remember, but I think I did this.
Okay. You need to understand like why you did it. Like, is it because you're talking with people because it's an in-house or a scrim? Is it because like you're not comfortable on the champ? Like this trade is useless. Look, do you have enough mana to kill her right now if you throw all your skills at her?
No, not really.
Yeah, so why are we doing this, right? Like look,
yeah.
In 30 seconds, or a bit more than 30 seconds, your mana was here, and now it's here. And now it's gonna be even lower, right? And their mana is more or less in the same place. Like the trade you just took, if no one is gonna gank you soon, like it's really good. You don't care about losing this much HP if her mana goes even lower. And you can, and like now she's kind of forced to either recall and lose a wave, or she's forced to stay and like never get a recall off, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you guys were planning in the game here?
I wasn't involved much into moving, but no, I don't remember.
Okay. I just want to talk about it because this wave is really important, okay?
Yeah.
7 minutes into the game. Herald is spawning soon, right? For 50 seconds. I don't know what your team wants to do. I don't know if you want to move. Like from what we talked about, I don't think you do. Like it's always important to, like one, if you don't want to move, it's important that you have mid-wave control so that it's harder for enemy to do Herald or even across map, right?
Mhm.
And then two, if you want to move, you should know when to recall to do it, right?
Yes.
So in this game, doesn't seem like your team wants to do anything. Maybe like Trundle is gonna try a gank on bot or whatever. So you can kind of do whatever is best for yourself. If you don't want to be involved or if they don't need you. So then, like, my question is, when do you think you should recall?
Next wave.
Why?
Definitely next wave. Because right now she's in a worse state than me. So I think it's better because I will have the push. So if I crash, that's good because she loses a lot, and I can just come back and that's fine. And if she stays there, that's even worse for her team because she's useless now. She's just a cannon minion.
Yeah, I agree. So you cancel recall, good. What now?
But the next wave is still the same, and my team isn't playing Geralt, so I definitely have to push this one too.
Okay, it's good that you understand that, because a lot of control mage matchups are about this. Like you get an advantage through mana and good trading, and then you just keep pressuring it.
Yeah.
This is a really good recall.
Yeah.
Strongest champion in the game right now. No way anyone else is stronger.
I'm also keeping my my W to have 3 Qs when I trade. I don't know if you know the trick, but
You mean like you Q, you wait, you double QQ?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But I got it with the. I forgot, but whatever.
So here's the same thing. Like this wave is always gonna push, so pushing it a bit faster doesn't make a whole lot of difference. But like one, where we're queuing this, right? Like you're not losing any minion. If you want this minion, you queue here, right?
Yeah.
Because, and the reason I'm being so noisy about stuff like this is, this game for you is a lot about just playing your lane and your lane alone, right? Like you're not doing anything on the map. Your impact is gonna come later from team fights. So when your focus is in lane, you need to have this stuff really well. Like you need to do all this really well, right? Like if your goal is to be as much CS ahead of Seraphine as possible and like make her life hell in lane, then you need to like take that to the extreme. So then like, why are you doing this? You're just helping her, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with before. Like the important thing is being consistent. Like doing this while roaming on the map and creating stuff with your team and punishing enemy laner at the same time, like all that is really hard, right? But when you're only doing one of those things, like you're more than skilled enough to do it. So stuff like this, where you're playing kind of inconsistent and you're not like pushing the punishment to the extreme, right? Like it can't happen. Oh, I'm Seraphine, I'm so happy. Big minion wave came to me, I clicked Q and it's gone. Like, you're not even making her miss any CS, right? Look. She lost 1 CS. 2 CS, because she's bad. Here we go again. So this is the stuff you need to change. If you're playing for your lane, you keep playing for your lane. Like, I know it's 9 minutes, a lot of games you won't be playing for your lane even if you're playing Syndra, right? Like, nothing is happening in this game, it's not solo queue, people are playing slow. Then you keep playing slow too. Like, why do you need this wave pushed? Is your team gonna do something with you?
No.
Right. So, and if your team wants to play what? You slow push, and then you move what, right?
Yeah.
And this is what needs to change.
I'm not sure, but I think I was aiming, for the race of my Trundle.
I see.
But in this case, do I still have to push it slowly, or well, what I just did was fine, or do I still have to push it slowly?
Let me think about that, because I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. But in the end, I still do what I do bad, but
Yeah, so, okay. So this is the big difference. If you push this one fast, and then you go rafters, and then you come back mid, and then you push, you can move on the map, right? Because you'll do raptors on this wave. Like, you'll basically trade making Seraphine's life hell to do raptors a bit early. Then like here, you'd be able to push, and you could go like bot or top or whatever, and you can move on the map. If you're not planning to move on the map, I think you could have just slow pushed, and like now you'd be crashing, and now you'd be doing Herald or Raptors, not Herald.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more about like what are you trying to do on the map, and there's also another thing that's important. Like normal waves, you can never auto attack the turret, but because it's a cannon one, you can like push for plates, right? So that's something else that's like important. I guess in hindsight, it's like it's fine to do what you did if your plan is to do raptors, and then if you know that it's a cannon, you want to push for plates. I think it's good. But you need to be able to see that in the game. If you saw that or not, I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess no.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Cool. You got a plate. Very happy.
Yeah.
I'll fast forward the game from here. So I'm not sure there's much. Like if you're gonna keep pushing it like this, like obviously Seraphine can't do anything about it. Yeah, you're moving, that's good. Maybe there's something on the team fight we can look at. So you do the thing with the QW. I think it's good if you have 2 stacks, but you only have 1. So it's maybe better to not do it.
Yeah.
Because it ends up not changing anything, but you lose damage from the second Q, right? Like here you could have another Q for Nautilus. I like that you don't ult Nautilus. It's smart. And now you just guarantee kill on Graves. Yeah, that's nice. It's really just the W thing I would change. Other than that, camera is good right now. You can see everyone. This is like one of those things where your HUD kinda doesn't let you see certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like look, if you want to Q Graves, where is he right now? Like you know he's somewhere here, but you can't see it. And if he's here, you can't see it either, right?
Yeah.
So it's important if you reduce it, I think. One thing I would do different here, like after you kill Graves, your team doesn't need you in mid, and like your big recall is already done, right? Like you have Ludens on this too, and your gold. I would recall and TP bot to deny as much from Ilawi as possible. And like then you're on the map and you can get Drake. I think you have enough gold to get Sark shoes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, So you get like everything. Basically, you got a pink ward from pushing wave on mid, right? But now Ilawi like got 2 plates for free. Maybe should have gotten one anyways, but it's just like small thing. You also share less EXP with your team, so it's always good for you. We can't really do anything on the map because Ezreal still hasn't recalled, so not much to talk about here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just fast forward again. What do you think is your job in mid game?
Just waiting for enemies to. Else I poke enemies, else they engage us and I just destroy them with my huge AoE damage.
Yeah, I agree, but like, how are you gonna, like, what lane do you want to be in? How do you want to, how
I
are you
think
gonna
I,
keep
I
yourself
definitely
safe?
want to be in mid lane.
Yeah, but your Ezreal also would like to be in mid, right?
Yeah,
How do you deal with that?
I think it's fine. I just clear sides when they have to be cleared, but I come back mid then after. Or I fog around mid to look for a poke.
I think we won't see a lot of it this game, but it's really important that in competitive this will happen a lot when you're playing Victor or Syndra or whatever champion, right? In that's like a control mage. Like it will happen a lot that like maybe Ezreal is here with you, and
Yeah.
one of you is gonna push mid. The thing you need to understand during mid game is that one of you guys will get the farm, one of you guys will shadow, and then when this wave is pushed, because for example like this game Ezreal gets Praya versus Samira, right?
Yeah.
After this wave is pushed, you can like move to side lane together. They'll shadow you instead, and then you get the farm, and then like you go back mid and you shadow them, and it's just like a repetitive cycle, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
With champions like Ezreal, there's other stuff that can happen. Like this champion is really safe in mid. He can like stand here and throw Qs at the wave. So sometimes you'll be able to like be where he is with Alistar. Like Alistar is here behind you, just shadowing you, and you can like push up, and then you go mid, and you just like make sure he doesn't get dove, stuff like that, you know. Since you're new to control mages, I thought it was good to talk about it. So I think what I did here is very hint. If your support wants to move like somewhere like this, and like here Trundle isn't with him, but usually it will be, especially in competitive. Like try to get this habit out of you to like never walk mid like this.
Yeah, that was kinda greedy.
Because look at the map, right? You're separated from everyone, and it's so easy for Nautilus to like flash on you and kill you. So it's just a good habit to keep in mind. Because you're not gonna get the turret. Your team is looking for something else, and you should be with them, right? And look, like you actually missed an opportunity. I mean, maybe you didn't. Maybe Graves showed up because he saw you mid lane. But like, if you're in fog right now, Ezreal pushes that wave. Maybe you're like here, just waiting and covering him, and now maybe you can dive Graves, for example, you know.
Yeah.
It's just important that like you stay with your team in mid game when you don't need to catch waves. Because it makes the game easier for a lot of people, and it makes it harder for the opponents too. They can't fuck up positioning, or you can just engage on them really fast, stuff like that. Okay, so I don't know what the calls are in the game.
I think we just wanted to help Israel hit the tower, but I guess I should have gone back mid.
I think if the call is this, it's fine. One thing I would do is like here when you split off, just like go together with the Alistair, or he should go together with you, like one or the other. Like, do you think you're stronger than the enemy? Do you want to fight? If you want to fight, go together with him. Because if you see someone, you just engage, you one shot them, right? If you think you're weaker, go through the river. It's important that you see this in the game because like maybe someone fucks up, maybe Graves is like doing red buff and you can engage on them. Then you just kill him. Damn, this guy doesn't give a damn. He's just gonna push. Do you remember why you walked like this? Like, was it for the wave?
Because I first called that. Yeah, I remember. I first called that we should fight and that they can't just go this far and we should punish them. But I saw that my teammates weren't
In
really
position?
reactive and they just went in after.
Okay.
So yeah, that was kind of weird in the team communication. I
Okay.
think.
Small trick. I don't know the timer for Drake right now. But okay, we can see it. 27 seconds. So this wave that's coming,
Yeah,
you
we
can
should
always
play.
get this wave before Drake spawns, right?
Yeah.
So you always contest it. Like as a general rule, sometimes you break this rule. Like for example, this game, Ezreal is recalling. Maybe if Seraphine was in fog and you couldn't see around the map, like maybe you don't want to contest it because it's a bit scary, you know? Or maybe if it's not Ilaoi and it's a different champion like Ornn, maybe you don't want to contest it because she's in fog, right? Like this game, you're not in danger, I think, as long as your team is with you. So always like make a rule to contest it. Here you couldn't because they were over here for some reason. If you can't contest it, then like you need to decide: are you gonna give it or are you gonna do what you're doing right now? Which is fine. Do you think anything else is gonna happen this game? It seems like kind of a stump. So
maybe one fight later on. I think we die on the top side. But after that fight, I think we can move on.
Okay.
No, not this one. Probably the one after we go. Yeah, I think that was this one.
Okay. Just small mid
Yeah,
game
there
fight.
I should wait my Alistar, I think.
Yeah. Like look,
To take that wave.
they just pushed mid, right? So what are they gonna do now?
They're gonna come top.
Yeah. So we just wait. Like I don't know if you're gonna die, but yeah, there's a good chance you die here if you show up on the map, right? It's good that you kill them, but like look, it creates so much chaos. Like this fight is happening. Like maybe it would happen anyways. We don't know. But like there's a good chance that this fight is only happening because you showed top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice side step. Big Syndra. Oh, that's
yes.
Patience
I
is key.
shouldn't have flashed anyways. I had the range. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we lose the fight on that.
Very sad. I don't
but
think.
Yeah, after this we just get Baron and we end, I think.
Okay. Maybe we can look at how you got Baron. There's always interesting stuff.
Sure.
Unless you just kill them. Okay, just kill them. Okay. Let's go next game. What about this game? What do you think was interesting about it?
This game I died a lot in early game. like over 7 death, I think.
Okay.
And then we came back like really hard. Like I think I did great calls, but in the end we still lose. But that was a very close game, even though in early I died a lot.
Okay. Why do you think you died? Like when you look at jungle and mid, and even support in this game, like how do you think the game will turn out? Like who gets prio? What lanes are both junglers trying to gank or like covering?
Mm. I mean, I think they can play pretty much everywhere. Like
I
they
agree.
can help top and they can go bot too.
Yeah.
Uh, and mid lane I was kinda exposed to ganks. Uh, I don't quite remember the game, but I think I didn't respect it that much.
Okay. I think if I see this draft in Scrim, it's always gonna be Clan Fiesta or one team is gonna Hearthstone.
Yeah,
So like you're pretty much right. Like this lane is very volatile. You can play on both. You kind of want to make sure Aatrox is fine, and if you gank the Fiora and she falls behind, she can lose the lane, right?
yeah,
Mid lane you have prio, but like you can get ganked. Viego Talia is pretty good setup. If Leona can move on the map, she can gank you pretty easily too. And then to me, like it's a bit hard to. Usually, you can separate certain things in the game. Like for example, if your bot lane is losing, you need to be careful because enemy can easily roam mid or whatever. Or if top lane is losing, like certain things will happen. Or if mid doesn't have prio, certain things will happen. This game is kind of
yeah,
all of that in the same game. That's why it's
mhm,
very chaotic, probably.
yeah,
So if I'm Trundle, I think my plan is I want to stabilize, like I need to decide which lanes I'm stabilizing. If I'm him, I want to stabilize these two lanes, right?
mhm,
If bot lane is losing, Leona can move on the map and be a complete nightmare with Viego. Like Leona Viego will one-shot everyone this game together with Talia. Because you don't have super tanky champions. Maybe like Trundle level 6 survives, but that's about it. And like I think Viego should try to do the same. Just have Aatrox try to survive until you get control of the map, and when you get control of the map, either because bot lane has prio or mid can push or whatever, they can start playing the map together, right?
yeah.
So when I think of that, like when you try to think of the game that way, what do you think is your job this game?
Not dying and helping my Chandal. Not dying, get mid prio and helping my Chandal stabilize bot lane.
Yeah, usually when you try to get mid prio, you die, right? It's not very
Yeah,
easy to do one without the other sometimes. So it's
mhm,
important that like you understand what can your team do for you that allows you to help them, right?
yeah,
Because like if you try to get mid prio every wave, like your Trundle can't be mid 24/7. Like it's not possible, right?
mhm,
If he does that, easily Viego comes bot, he ganks bot, they die, or he goes top, and then like Fury is losing, right? Like you don't want that to happen.
mhm.
So one, you need to be smart about like what waves you need to cover, and two, you need to be like just like you have turns where you can get prio, they also have turns where they can get prio, right?
Mhm.
And then the second thing is, I think knowing where Viego is this game is very, very important.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of the most important things. Like last game, you were playing against Graves, and he couldn't really do much. Like he didn't care a lot where he was, right? Like he didn't have super good lanes to gank. It was Ilawi, and then it was Samir and Nautilus, but it was against Alistar Ezreal. Like he can gank that, but it's not going to work a lot of the time. And even like Seraphine versus Syndra. But like this lane, this game, like they can gank every lane, especially like mid and bot, right? Like Viego can easily gank those lanes. So
Mhm.
then my next question is: one, you want to get prio when Tunnel is behind you, and then two, do you
Yeah.
think you win 2v2s?
I think we do if we have our flash, but we don't else.
Yeah, if you get hit by Talia W, you lose, basically.
Yeah.
I agree. So then your question, then the main thing is one, uh, you need to know where Viego is. If you know where Viego is, like playing 2v2s is always easier because you know if they're gonna happen or not usually. And then up to that is just execution, like whether you win or you lose, right?
Yeah.
So then my next question becomes like, how do you get to know where Viego is on the map?
I get vision with Trundle,
Yeah, but how?
I guess. Well, he covers me, I get mid prio, and then we go into his jungle.
What if Viego is already mid? Like, is there something you can do level 1 to know where Viego is?
Ah, yes. I can ward his phrase at 110, I think. But yeah, I think I did this, or I warded his red one of the two.
Okay. Do you know why it's important that you do it instead of Trundle?
No, I don't really know. But I know I won't get. I mean, if I ward now, it will be useful. But if I don't ward now, it's useless. I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, like it's less predictable. Like this word
yes.
has a lot more value because you know which side of the map is on. But like if you ward at 230 over here, you just know he's not here, right? You don't know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main reason why you want to ward instead of your jungler is because like you're gonna look at the timer, you're gonna ward at like 110. Usually Trundle will recall at like 350, 4 minutes, sometimes a bit later. Like you'll get the second ward at 4 minutes. If he does like, let's say he clears like this, and then he goes here and he puts a ward at like 350. If he put the ward at level 1, you wouldn't have the ward at 350 here, you know?
Yeah.
That's why it's important that you do it. If you have a different bot lane, like if your bot lane is not gankable or whatever, you can ask your support to do it, and then you can have a word for yourself. Okay, word red buff. Not a big fan of red buff ward. I think this spot here.
Yeah, usually I ward the race, but
Tully
as
was there.
Talia was in
Yeah.
front of it, I didn't want to show her.
Yeah, I think
Because there is a precedent
which
where
replay.
I just no, because in one of the games before, because we do a lot of in-houses, I just went there and baited the fact that I warded.
Oh,
But
okay,
this
okay.
time I warded for real.
Okay. Sometimes
So that
baiting the word is smart too. It happens a lot in scrims. Just a small trick. If you want to ward, try to do it here, like in this corner of the
yeah,
rock.
because you get a burst race and
Yeah,
the
and
river
the pink
nearly.
ward in this bush can see it. What do you think of this matchup?
I think it should be good for me, but I kinda trolled my early game.
Alright. I think this matchup is a bit similar to Seraphine, but it's easier for Syndra because like Tully is very weak in lane, right? Like earlier.
Yeah.
What do you think is like Tully's weakness, for example?
She's really weak before she has 4 to 5 points in her Q, and also she isn't really mobile, and yeah, that's most of it. Also her W doesn't deal damage before level 3.
Yeah,
There is a lot of things.
I agree. I think the most important thing is that you can easily play behind the minions to block her Q, and it's her
Also,
main
yeah.
trading tool, right? So like when you do this, I think it's okay to take this trade because I know you're gonna get prio in this way, right? In this matchup, right? But like after you take this trade, look at how your Qs are being positioned. Okay. Look, this will never hit minions.
Yeah.
And you need to understand, like when you're playing Syndra or Victor, like you never want to use a skill that only hits the champion. Like maybe if they're about to die or if they're inting a lot, right? Like if you're playing behind the minions and auto attacking them and then you Q on top of them or whatever, you can do it. But like right now you're playing for prio, you're playing for lane control. You can't be hitting like nothing. Even if you hit her, it's not even that bad, right? For Talia. So like always try to hit like the minion and the champion. It's really important that you try to do both. Because these Qs, like one, even if you miss the champion, it's fine. You just hit a minion anyway, so you're like still playing for prio. And if you hit a champion, like you're getting double value. Like here's the same thing. Like why try to hit here? Try to hit here. And even if she dodges it, it's fine, you know? You're still getting mid prio. And obviously you also want to play off the wave because it's harder for your opponent to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like now you're down a potion and you're losing prio against Talia. Syndra, like it should never happen. And the worst part is, because you're losing prio, like look, and because you got a bad trait, like she's up a potion, it doesn't matter if you hit Qs anymore. Because she has more HP, and she's gonna be able to recall before you do, right?
Yeah.
And if you're only playing for, like, Syndra is a bit of a, maybe it's a bit different now, because she got reworked. But before you'd be very unhappy just queuing the wave permanently. But I think like nowadays you're a bit more fine with it. As long as you get a good wave state off of it. Like you can start playing harder later when you get a few levels. Okay. So far, like we've seen almost 3 minutes of you playing, right? What do you think about what you've seen? Like, what do you think you've been? What have you done right? What have you done wrong?
The ward was right,
Okay.
but I think I just waste too much spells. Yeah, basically I just waste a lot of spells, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't put them in the correct place.
What's the difference between this game and the Seraphine one when you throw your E? Like here.
Here I eat a lot of minions, I guess, so it's fine. And also I have way more mana than
I'm thinking a bit
earlier.
different. I'm thinking that in the Seraphine game, you're playing against Graves, and like you should never be getting ganked. Like you can literally just walk away, right? But in this game, I'm thinking that if you don't have E and Viego is like here, you're dead, or you need to flash.
Yeah.
So you need to be a lot more mindful of your E, right? Like you can't just throw it for poke. And if you're Eing and then like backing off because you just finished pushing wave and you want to recall, like that's okay. It's not that dangerous. But if you're just gonna E on cooldown, like one, your mana is an issue, and then two, like it's a lot harder to run from ganks, right? Also, I think here you should be queuing the wave like a lot earlier. Maybe you're a bit afraid right now because you don't have full vision, which is fine. I think it's understandable.
They were talking about Viego in the...
Yeah, like now that you have vision, like this guy, look, you can use all your skills on this Talia, she's gonna drop to like this HP, right? But if you do that, she's gonna crash this wave, she's gonna recall. So why does it matter that you just did 70 damage to Talia?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's useless, right? So like focus on the wave, because like look, her mana is fucked, but yours is really good. You have a cookie, you have more mana than her. Even after the bad Qs and stuff, like your mana is still really good, so focus on hitting the minions. Like she's
so basically on the first waves I should just I will say this other mana. Before I get my first back, I should just aim to get a good wave state, and then I should aim to straighten her, I guess.
I think that's like an okay rule. You don't want to like stick to it 100% of the time, right? Like if you're playing Talia, for example, is a very weak champion early. The only reason you're losing trades in this game is because one, you walked up to the wave and tried to auto attack the minion, which is fine. because you're getting your mana flow proc and like you're getting minion damage with your Q, and you also Q'd her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like you got a bad trade afterwards. But this champion is weak only if you have minion advantage, and that's the main thing you need to understand. Like, if you have minions to block her Q, or if she has to worry about like farming minions while you're trading, like this champion is very weak. But if she's pushing you in, she's very strong, because everything reverses, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're worried about farming minions and she has push, she can Q you, she can WE you, she can like do stuff that usually she can't do, right?
Yeah.
So I think against Celia, you want to get wave control first, and then you can start chunking her, because you'll naturally just be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And in general, it's just a good rule to like focus on wave state. Also, if you focus on wave state, you'll notice certain things about champions. And you shouldn't be super focused on like getting a huge advantage with Syndra. I don't think she's that kind of champion anymore. You can like play it a bit slower. Like, here's the same thing. Focus on wave. Like here, maybe if you want to Q here, because you can hit both minion and champion, you can try. That's fine. But I'd be focusing on wave and my recall, because your recall will tell you a lot. Like, this trait is useless.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Right? Because look, she can recall right now, and you can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. And this
Yeah, I
is
see it.
the most important thing in control mage matchups, is just stopping recalls. Because like, look, if you didn't trade and you were pushing, her mana is doomed. She doesn't have cookies. She took stopwatch and demat, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're about to get another cookie in 30 seconds. So you want to extend this lane as much as possible. Like, imagine you play for the wave, and she has to TP back in like 2 waves. She doesn't get Lost Chapter, and then you create 1 extra wave, you recall with TP, and you get Lost Chapter. Like, how insanely ahead are you in the lane, right?
Yeah.
And if you can see that in this game, I mean, you're super ahead. But you couldn't see it, and now you're in a bit of a shitty situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You basically just traded recalls when you could have been really ahead. Again, like, the way you're using E, 1, she has 1 plating, so I don't know why you're trying to throw so many spells right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, it's your main way to stop Viego from ganking you.
Yeah.
Again, look, she has so many minions, man. You need to kill these minions. Look.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not gonna like keep repeating the same thing, because I think you understand the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how you end up dying. Okay, Momo's coming mid. Do we know where Viego is? I wasn't paying attention to that. Yeah, okay, stop side right now. It's probably like doing Grump.
Yeah, I was looking for my 6 and potentially killing her.
No. You're again in a really good wave state. She has low HP, low mana. You have way more. So if you can keep this going, it's really nice. Okay, so I think I know what's gonna happen. You're probably like gonna get ganked and trade 1 for 1, or maybe she survives with low HP. Just one thing: if you're ever in this situation where like you're really ahead of your opponent, and especially in competitive games, right? Like,
Yeah.
solo killing is giving your opponent a free recall.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you to not solo kill them. Like, if Talia ints and you can kill her, go and do it. but don't overextend to do it, okay? Because right now you can impact the map so much more than she can. Like, you're gonna keep having
Yeah.
mid prio. If you want to roam top with your jungler after Drake, you can do it. If you want to invade, you can do it. She can't participate in any of this, right? Like, she's very weak.
I think my first death it is around 8 minutes, but yeah, it just I greeded a lot. Like look, maybe it's next wave. I don't know. No, it's this way. I didn't see
She has
she
barrier.
had changed her spells,
Yeah, she just did it too.
and she could have killed me.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
anyway, that was really bad.
Yep. And again, like, it comes back to that thing. You have an advantage. You just want to extend the advantage, right?
Yeah.
Also, to give you perspective, if you deny a full wave, you're ahead half a kill.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that you could be pushing for plates when she's low. Like, she has to respect a lot of mid laners. They'll not recall when they should, and they'll stay in mid because, like, you can't kill them, but they can't really, like, put pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just auto attack the turret if you have backup from your team, stuff like that. Or you can even wait for your team to be able to move on the map and then you dive together. It's really important that, like, you try to put your team in your place. Okay, Tali is low. I want to dive her. How can my team help? Like, if Trundle clicks E on Talia, like, it's 10 times easier to hit your stun, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's enough. Okay, I mean, she has mercs. I would never try to kill her anymore. Right now, my question is more, how can I impact the map and, like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And at the same time, you need to be very careful because she can, like, ult on you with Viego and then you're 2v1, right? Nice. 2-4-1. After, okay, 2-4-2. It's more Kaiser's fault though. Maybe not. Doesn't matter too much. I think the roam is okay. Again, it's just a thing you need to be careful with being locked between two champions when you're playing against Talia. I'll go back to talking about clicks now. Just really avoid doing this. Like, I know you want to queue around this area. Like, put your cursor here and try to center the camera so that you can see everything. Like, right now I can see a moment. Usually you're good at the camera stuff, at least from previous game. But it's really important that, like, your mouse is close to your character, because imagine Leona tries to E on you. Maybe she just E'd actually. Yeah, she just E'd. But, like, maybe she gets 6 or she ults or she flashes on you, you know? Like, if you need to flash out or anything, like, now your cursor is really far. So
Yeah, I see what you mean.
try to be really mindful of it, because it really makes a big difference, especially at, like, higher level of plays. And it will just make you that much more consistent at, like, dodging stuff or even aiming stuff a bit better. Yeah, this is a bit what we talked about. Whatever bot lane has control will just roam first on the map and do stuff. It actually turns out okay for you, surprisingly. we'll just fast forward. Oh, did I? No way.
I didn't see that Leona had ult.
Sad.
Yeah. That caught me off guard.
Okay, let's just go fast. Is there like anything in mid game you want to look over in this game?
Actually, this game goes on for a long time because we stole the game. We stole.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the word.
with great catches, I think. But yeah, that's just mainly them doing errors, mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can look at like, I don't know if you guys fight for Drakes or Baron. Maybe we can look at that.
I think we got the two first drakes, and then we could chill a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game is just a fight, fist fight. I think.
Yeah,
It's expected with the champions.
You can just fast forward if you want. I think.
Okay, how does this happen? Tell me.
I don't respect.
Yeah.
I see Vigo is heading to bot lane, and I'm like, yeah, I will help them, but no, I can't.
Mm-hmm. And you even see him like come back on the map, but I guess you aren't
Yeah.
paying attention. Like he returns.
Yeah, that was definitely bad.
Yeah. Okay, just a small thing.
Yeah.
It's important that you understand why you can like path this way, like you're doing in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just for other games. Like if you're playing against Silas, Talia, champions that can flank you or like lock you really easily, I'm really afraid of like pathing like you're doing. If I don't see them. Like this game, it's okay, because you're even collapsing on her, right?
Yeah, I would have gone with the upper side of the blue.
Okay, that's good. If you're thinking about that during the game, that's already really good, because it tells me that you're aware.
Yeah, I'm aware because I
It's
play a
nice.
lot of these champions.
Yeah.
So I know how to deal with them. I didn't respect Aatrox missing.
Yeah,
And
but
I went for
I
the
think
wave
it's a
actually.
bit more than that. So like, look, you need to think about mid game as the same as laning phase, okay? If you're laning
Yeah.
right now, which side of the lane are you at?
Yeah, I should add the
But right?
but side. Yeah.
But you're here, right?
Yeah.
That's why none of your teammates are gonna die. Unless they try to help you, no one is gonna die, right? You're the only one that's gonna die because you're not
Yeah.
respecting the 50-50 rule. Like look. So free. There's no way they can kill you from there, right? Like
Right.
a lot of mid game is equal to laning phase. Like you're doing the same things. So don't forget about those principles, you know? Like keep them in mind. Because a lot of players, they kind of just forget. They're like, okay, mid game or laning phase is over. I go mid game, and it's completely different, but it's not. I'll just fast forward until like Baron. Maybe something happens there. Yeah, okay. It's just a fist fight, entire game.
Yeah.
So I think we stop it here. If there's like a specific moment in the game you want to go over, we can. If not, I think we kind of already touched the main point, right, about this game. I think it was a lot
Yeah, I
about
think,
learning.
yeah. But
And then,
that was really interesting.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll try to give you just some bullet points about stuff today. So, alright, so this, I think it needs to be a lot smaller. Like, make it minimum thing as long as it doesn't make you play worse, okay? And if it
Yeah.
makes you play worse, like, try to slowly scale it down, like, as time goes on,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get used to it. Minimap 2, like, I play with a big minimap too, but I think like this is way too big. Try to make it a bit smaller.
Yes.
Other than that, your clicks, you need to be thinking a lot about them. Especially like when
Yeah.
you flick the camera, like don't be lazy. You can't be lazy. Like you showed a lot of like good mechanics and like good stuff with skill shots in these two games that I saw. But, like you could be hitting them a lot more if you're not lazy with the mouse, you know, like after moving camera and stuff like that. So think
Yeah.
about that, and then it's a lot about like thinking about, okay, I'm playing this lane. What recall do I want? How do I play for it? How do I get a good wave state? And like, how do I manipulate it to my advantage? Because in these games, you're kind of just fist fighting your opponent and hoping it works, I feel. But it needs to be a lot more than that, right? And if you want, like maybe a few weeks from now, if you're having issues with some of these things, we can go again and like look at something.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So just a question. Will the video will you upload this session on YouTube or something?
Yeah, I'm intending to put it there.
Okay. Can I have access to it? Because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, of
it's
course.
really interesting.
Of
Nice.
course.
Thank you.
Right. Is that everything?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you really for the